Good day, folks. Two things today. I'm going to talk about skirret, which is a perennial, a very hardy perennial root vegetable, sort of a long forgotten vegetable in many areas. And beans, one of my favorite things. So something new I'm trying this year is skirret. I want to keep continuously adding to my perennials those plants that will survive my climate, and skirret is one of those. Never had it or grown it before, never tasted it. Kind of went out of favor when potatoes, it was very European, when potatoes and other things replaced it. But I want to give it a try. It's the roots really that they come in the clumps. So as far as a perennial, it's that type of root where you separate and leave some of them in there, just like you would a Jerusalem artichoke or something. But they have to feel like many perennials that they're going through a cold season. And I don't know how many to do. I certainly don't need that many. So I'm going to put the seeds through cold stratification, and I'm just doing that simply by placing it in a paper towel that's damp, and then they'll go in my fridge for, it says up to 2 months. I'm a little early for that, but you have to plant this also after the 2 months. Put it in a pot, and then you can stick it outside as soon as spring is still cold, and they'll warm up naturally as the weather warms up and grow from there. Again, like many perennials and many perennial flowers too. So as long as I don't forget about this in my fridge, I'm excited to have another perennial. So some of my seed orders are starting to come in, and I wanted to talk today about the beans that I'll be growing for 2025 and some peas. I grow beans for the 3 stages, so as a lovely green bean to be sauteed or thrown in your stews and soups, or as a lovely side, and for them to plump up and be potted as a semi-dried bean. It's not quite dried, it's still green, and they can go in my freezer or to be cooked and eaten that way. And then finally, for a dried bean to have throughout the winter. I love beans, all stages. I love the journey that a bean goes on for those 3 stages, and the tactile as you get those dried beans. It's just wonderful. I grow two types. So that's the bush bean, which is my preferred. They come all at once for me. They are easy to grow. Pluck them in the ground, done. And I have a shorter season, so I get to do them as I'm harvesting and processing all my produce. They come all at once, and I can deal with them all at once. Then the pole bean, I've got 2 choices for this year. They're gorgeous. You can grow them up your trellises, and the gorgeous flowers. They're beautiful in the garden, and they keep on growing throughout your season. I don't have that long a season, so they don't always quite make it, but I've got my varieties down now that I think should be fine. Now, the first thing I do when my seeds come in, all seeds, is I will record on the package the year that I get them. I have to do that because I'll never remember, and you never use quite all of your seeds. Then I journal, add them, what has arrived from what company, what I've ordered, and I record that in my journal so I know year from year what I grew when. Let me just sit here. I'll go through the peas and beans that I'm going to grow for season 2025. So for peas, I've got sugar lace for sugar snap, and Dalve for a regular pea to pod. I had no idea I was getting that large of a bag. It'll last me for many years, I think. And then I'll lay these out so that you can actually see the beans rather than me pulling them out. But I've got the Greek Giganti, which I've not grown before because it's hard for me to find. I mean, they're just amazing. So I'm so grateful for those. The company I've got all my beans from, this is the second year in a row, is Annapolis Seeds. And they're a great little company in Nova Scotia. And the gentleman, I think his name is Owen, is, well, it's a labor of love to bring to us heirloom seeds and to keep them going. And they're acclimated for the Atlantic Canada. So I know they're going to work, and that's wonderful. So I've got some Greek Gigante. That, of course, is a pole bean. So I'm growing again this year the Amish Nuttle. And last year, there were so many beans on each plant. I was able to store away so many dried beans of the Amish Nuttle, and they dried quickly on the plant, which for a short season is something I'm always looking for, because I only plant all beans June 1st. I do it every year. It works. But if you have some, I've had some that they just take too long to dry and they end up being semi-dried for me, which is fine. I'll put them in the freezer. But the Amish Nuttle dried perfectly out there. So I'm doing those again. Another one I'm doing again is Limelight Bean. It's a northern hardy lima bean alternative. And you can eat these mostly when they're still green. Pod them though, when the pods have fattened up. And then you would eat them as a lima bean. But I also dried them and just had a meal of them the other night. And they work beautifully as a dried bean also. Very early again, so those are a keeper I'm going to do again. Then some new ones for me. I've got a Fundy Amethyst. These are bush beans. King of the Early, which is a bush bean. I'm not 100% sure what I was thinking of here. I have Hokkaido Azuki bean, which are when you make red bean paste. Now, that's easy enough to make, but I don't know how to make all the things that go in those lovely Asian treats that are savory or sweet. But I will figure that out, I think. I just wanted to give those a try. And then just for eating as a green bean on the plant, I've got, well, a yellow wax bean, golden wax bean, and provider bush beans remaining from last year. And I still have a few left of the red swan and the dragon ton, so I'll put those out also. Those again are best for eating them fresh off the plant when they're still a lovely green pod. So here's a close-up of my dry bean collection for this year. So the gorgeous Greek Gigantes, aren't they amazing? They're really quick to grow. Limelight bean, the Amish Nuttle, oh, and my saved seeds of the Scarlet Runner. I'll be putting those in again. Then here's for my red bean pest, the Hokkaido Azuki bean, the Fundy Amethyst, and the King of the Early. Aren't they beautiful? So what beans are you growing this year? Let me know. I'm always open to finding and trying new beans. But that's all for now. Thank you so much. Take care. We'll see you soon.